New year, new you. Same height though. I've been like the same height since 2013. Hey, what's up you guys? It's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you guys are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Danny and you guys are about to learn a lot about me. Like the title says, this video is going to be my 2018 New Year's resolutions and beauty favorites. So basically I did want to share with you guys all of the products that I've been using consistently throughout the year and that I've been loving, but I also wanted to sprinkle in a little bit about myself, and so I decided to include my New Year's resolutions. So 2018 was a hell of a year. We'll get into that and kind of all the changes that I want to make to be a better version of myself in the upcoming year. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have to say for this intro. Let's just get right into it. Alright guys, so we're just gonna get started with my makeup. Everything that I have or that I'm taking with me is packed up in here other than my beauty blender because other than my beauty blender because I just wet it. I'm going to use it today to do my makeup. Beau and I are headed to Oregon tonight after he gets off work. I'm only bringing enough makeup for like really just like an entire look. So I have my mirror down here if you guys see me looking down a lot. That's where it is placed. I'm just going to pull my hair back. It's been a while since I've done like a chit chat get ready with me. Most of my makeup videos lately have just been kind of me just kind of doing my makeup to the camera. I haven't really been talking while I'm doing it. And this is kind of going to be a favorites video slash New Year's resolution type video. I thought it was a really good way to do it just because I get to talk to you guys while doing my makeup and also showing you guys the products that I've been using the most this year. You know, Carmex, I use that every year of my life no matter what the year is. But this is something new to me. It's a Purity Made Simple moisturizer and I really like this one, especially underneath makeup. I do have dry or normal to dry skin, but it just sits really nicely under makeup and it's supposed to keep your skin hydrated for 24 hours. All intents and purposes, it does its job. It keeps my skin nice and hydrated. I love the way it feels. It's very lightweight because I can't really do like the thicker moisturizers. Next, I'm using the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Quench Primer. This is a really good one, again, if you have dry skin. It is like about to be 11 o'clock right now, so I need my makeup to last all the way until tonight. Today is New Year's Eve day. So tonight is going to be New Year's Eve. We're going to have like a really nice big party in Oregon that I want to look presentable for. So I hope my makeup will last through the 5-hour car drive. It should, but I'm hoping it just doesn't kind of break apart. All of these products are really, really good for long wear. So before we get into the New Year's resolutions and like 2018 talk and everything, I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I wear the shade Golden Beige. It matches me really, really well. And I love this one because it's very skin-like. Super good for people who are a little bit more on the dry skin, but you can use this one for all skin types. It's a nice long wear foundation and it's great coverage, but I mostly just love the way that it feels on my skin. You know, sometimes you put on a foundation and it feels just a little bit too heavy or too cakey. This is definitely not one of those foundations. So 2018 happened. I really wish it hadn't, but it did. No, I'm just kidding. 2018 was just honestly one of the most difficult years of my life in terms of like really everything. And I'm not saying that 2018 was a hard year for me and discounting that it was a hard year for everyone or that people had it way worse than me, honestly, but for me personally, I struggled a lot this year. It was a very uncomfortable year for me, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I spent a lot of this year unhappy, if we're being honest, and that's why towards the front half of the year I didn't really film a lot of videos because you could just tell, and in a lot of my videos you could just tell that I wasn't happy, I wasn't myself. It was difficult. A lot of my relationships suffered, honestly. My relationship with my partner, my relationship with my family, how I performed at work, at school, all of that took a hit this year. But also, with that being said, I did a lot of rebuilding this year, and sometimes when you change, when you transform, and when you grow, it's not a seamless transition into being a better version of yourself or being better for the people in your life. Sometimes you have to break and you have to rebuild instead of just transitioning into being a better person, and that's what was uncomfortable for me, was that this year was truly a year of realizing things. Okay, Kylie was right. So as far as like my relationship with my parents go, 2018 past year I really spent the least amount of time at home. That doesn't mean that it was my parents' fault that I wasn't at home or anything. Really had to do some figuring out, and I had to really take time to myself, and that just meant being a little bit more distant from the people that I love the most. Next, I'm gonna just start on my concealer. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal, which absolutely is one of my favorite concealers for this year. I use it almost every single day and for everything. For me, it works best underneath my eyes, covering up like little blemishes that I have over here, which which you'll see, and then I use it to sharpen out my eyebrows. This is in the shade Light Ivory, and then the other concealer that I use pretty often is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Sand. It's a matte concealer, so probably not the best for dry skin, but with that being said, you can totally make it work as long as you're wearing the right products underneath, if that makes sense. So I guess just to continue, a lot was just different this year than it has been in the past. I spent the least time at home, had a hard time with maintaining relationships, and also finding out how to have a relationship with myself, because prior to this year, I never really focused on me. I didn't really think self-love was something that was crucial to my everyday life. I felt like if I just loved everyone else enough, they would love me back, and I didn't really have to focus on myself, and that is absolutely not the case. I mean, it's just kind of something that I realized is that I was really neglecting what I wanted, who I was and how I felt, and 2018, as hard as it was, I'm really glad that it happened. I don't want to write off the entire year as a bad year just because it was hard and it was uncomfortable. While it definitely was, I had some serious moments of just extreme happiness and gratitude, and it was a year where I realized who's really going to be there for me in the end, and I think that's pretty important. You know, I'm only 21, I still have a long way to go, but like, you do lose a lot of friends when you start to get older, and especially when you kind of get to that age where you have more freedom and you have more independence. It kind of says a lot about what people choose to do with that freedom and independence, and I really chose to spend it this year away from home, and it's not that I regret it. I think it was definitely essential, but going into the new year, I definitely want to be home more. I want to spend more time with my family. Like, I did that. I did the whole finding myself thing, and I think I did enough of it for now, and I kind of just want to be home. I have like a really solid foundation and understanding of who I am as a person. I feel like right now more than ever, I'm very in touch with my feelings. I know what I want. I know the type of person that I am, and having that solid foundation has been like really important to me. I feel like from here I can just focus on like growth. I've accepted that I am far from who I'm meant to be, and I'm still learning and everything, but with that being said, the most important thing that I learned this year is who I am and how to love myself, pretty much. I didn't realize it at the start, but I was fostering so many like toxic behaviors and just like attitudes about myself. Like at the beginning of this year, I felt very entitled. I felt very, people owed me things because I was I tried my best to be a good person to other people. So I felt like in return, they should try their best to be a good person towards me. But that's just not how things work. No one owes you anything at the end of the day. And that was something that was really hard for me to figure out, because I'm over here like thinking I'm doing what's right by doing what I can for other people, but at the same time, I'm doing it and expecting the same thing back. So I'm not really doing it in a way that is productive for anyone. That was another really big realization for me in 2018. Before I set my makeup though, I still have some cream products that I've been using. So I'm going to go in with my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Dusk, and a little bit of cream bronzer if I can find where it is. I just like, in this little container, I have a little bit of my Milk Cream Contour. So I'm starting off with the Milk Contouring product just on my finger over here. And I like to put it kind of right over there and blend it sort of upwards this way. Sorry, I don't mean to flip off the camera. Okay, this is kind of like where I place my cream bronzer, and I just blend it in with my beauty blender. But going off of what I was saying, it's also a year where I think I grew the most, and I grew the most in a very positive direction. What I've learned from like playing video games and everything is that if things are getting hard, or if you're struggling, or things are becoming uncomfortable, which change sometimes is, it means you're going in the right direction. You're just getting a whole new set of challenges that you get to learn how to deal with as well, and then you just add more to who you are and you add more to your character. So I have my 2019 New Year's resolutions written down here, but first I'm gonna go in with my Glossier Cloud Paint. I already said that, it's in the shade Dusk. Honestly, I squeeze out a little tiny bit over here, kind of put it over there. I used to blend it in just with my fingers, but lately I've just been liking the way it looks blended in with a beauty blender, so that's what I'm gonna do. But let's get into my 2019 New Year's resolutions. You know, if you want to make a change in your life, you should just do it, and I did a lot of that in 2018. But you know, it's nice to have something, an idea of how you want to improve in the new year. So that's kind of what I'm using this video for, you know? Like, you don't need a new year, you don't need a clean slate of a year to make positive changes in your life. So my first New Year's resolution resolution is more of an idea. All of these are more ideas than like goals or anything, but it is to be more positive or to have more positive energy kind of coming from me. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit more blush. I wanted it to be a little bit darker. But my camera cut off when I kind of was getting into my ideas of how I can be a more positive person. And these are all things that like I've either found online as inspiration or just like thoughts that I've had. So one of them is, you know, if you don't have anything nice to say about someone, don't say it. That is something I've already like worked on a lot in 2018, and I think I'm in a pretty good place. I'm at the point now where if someone asks me a question about something or someone that I do not happen to like, I'll just keep it to myself and I'll try my gosh darn best to have something nice to say about them, because I don't ever think it's my place. Like, I can have my opinions about someone, I can state the facts about a situation, but if it's gonna be just straight up hate, like if I'm gonna be a hater, I just won't say anything. That doesn't accomplish anything for anyone. And I'm just all about being productive. If it's gonna waste my time, if it's gonna waste my energy, and if it's gonna lead to more problems, I'm not about it. I'm not gonna do it. So 2019, I want to do more of that. It's easy to feed into hate, I guess. It's not so easy to bite your tongue, because that takes a lot of like self-control. Okay, so the next thing is something that I actually read online. Oh, I'm going in with my Milk Translucent Blur and Set Setting Powder. So this is the one that I have currently been in love with, just because it allows me to keep that dewiness and radiance in my complexion without compromising whether or not my makeup is going to be set. So it's the one that I've been liking. Yeah, it just gives you a more natural finish. Okay, yeah, like I was saying, the next thing that I want to focus on in 2019 is this idea, is that if someone can't change something about themselves in 10 seconds, which would be something like whether or not they have acne, the way their teeth looks, the way their hair looks, their weight, anything like that. If it's something that someone can't change in 10 seconds, don't bring it up. Don't talk about it. If it pertains to like physical appearance and like their body, that can be a sensitive subject for a lot of people. It doesn't make sense for me to point it out, you know? Like, I don't find any of that funny. I don't find any of it necessary. I don't know. I think it's a really important change, and it's not something that a lot of people focus on. Maybe it is, but it's just like, it's what I want to focus on. Oh, this is also part of more positivity and body image. I am gonna stop comparing myself to other people, because that was a really big reason why I was so sad sort of in the beginning and middle of the year. Was that pretty much what I've learned is that it's one thing to admire someone, it's one thing to be inspired by someone, and it's another thing to try to imitate it. I spent so much time 2018 sad about not being able to achieve this image that at the end of the day I never really wanted in the first place, that I need to kind of dedicate this next year to myself, to loving me. So I'm just going on with a little bit more bronzer. This is a Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It's gonna be my favorite until this thing runs out. Okay, moving on, I'm gonna start on my eyebrows. Maybe I'll do that off camera. But before I go, I do want to show you guys what I'm using. I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Medium Brown. And I'm gonna just put on my brows and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my brows on. I'm gonna go back in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer, because that's what I use underneath my brows, and then we're gonna move on to eye makeup. I'm gonna be using this palette, by the way. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to work on, or the next kind of idea for a resolution that I had, is just like having more ways to care for myself. 2018 was a rough year for me, but it was also the year when I learned the importance of self-love. Okay, and I've been like really lining my brows with concealer, y'all, if you cannot tell. It's just because this is more of like a sheer concealer. It's like kind of a, I want to say like medium coverage concealer at best. So one idea that I have for how I can care for myself better is taking the time to do my hair and makeup, kind of like what I did today. I'm doing other things too, like cleaning my room, which I also did today, cooking, anything really that is gonna make me feel better about myself, my situation. That's what I think self-care is, because I'm just the type of person who, if I look good, then I feel good, and it's up to me to decide what looking good means on a particular day. That's what's important, is that at the end of whatever your self-care ritual is if you feel better about yourself. So that's one idea that I have. Another idea that I have is to actually spend money on myself. Like when I was doing a huge like room cleaning and a, you know, decluttering my bags, and I kind of realized that I don't buy myself anything really. Almost everything that I have is a gift or something I've received from someone else. So on one hand, that means I have very generous people in my life that I should be thankful for, but on the other hand, it means that like I I need to be doing more things for me. I always try to convince myself that I don't need something, even if I might really need something. I'll just find another way to do it or to navigate around having this thing. Couldn't tell you why. I don't really know where it came from, but that's how I've been. In 2019, I just don't want to feel bad for spoiling myself, pretty much, you know? Another way that I think I can kind of care myself more is to have like more ways for myself to be introspective, more ways for me to meditate, and just really calm myself down. I think that would be really important to improving myself. So right now I think I do a pretty good job at like isolating my feelings or just really trying to understand my feelings, why I might be feeling a certain way, what the feeling even means, if that kind of makes sense. But I want to be able to just hone in on that and just practice it more in 2019, I guess. I don't have to be so emotional. I'm not a very dramatic person anymore, and I definitely was, trust me you guys, I was a very dramatic person. I don't think of myself as emotionally distant or anything. I just think of myself now as having a lot of emotional maturity. I want to go to the gym more in 2019. That's just kind of part of investing time into myself, is I want to like have a body that I worked for, if that makes sense. I did go to the gym a lot this year, but there were a lot of gaps in between, like these periods where I would go to the gym and I would go 4 days a week. I would not go for like 2 months straight or something like that, and it's just because I would fall into these like depressive episodes where I didn't want to get out of the house. I didn't want to leave my bed. I didn't want to go work out, even though working out makes me feel so much better. So I want to like break that cycle. I'm just doing like a very basic eye look today, you guys, even though it is New Year's Eve and everything. Alright, and I guess kind of the last thing that still pertains to kind of self-care is I want to be able to say no more often. I notice that I don't do that as often as like I kind of want to. Like, I say yes to things that I don't really want, and I don't think that's not something that I'm happy with doing. It's not something I want to continue doing, and so I'm gonna make an effort in 2019 to say no to things I want to say no to and not feel guilty for it. Because at the end of the day, you know, if I've learned that people don't owe me anything, I should also understand that I don't necessarily owe anyone anything either. And that's not to say that you shouldn't reciprocate behaviors or anything. It's just to say, like, if I don't want to do something, I want to be able to say no to it. Also, this year I will not let anyone strip me of my self-worth or devalue me. I spent so much time working on to be a better version of myself and to love who I've become that in 2019 I just do not have room for that. Next, I'm going to do eyeliner. I think I'm going to do this off camera. Okay, I'm done with my eyeliner. So while I'm curling my eyelashes, my next resolution is to pause. I need to see this. So with me looking like this, my next resolution is that I want to nurture my relationships, which means, like I said in the beginning, spend more time with my family. They have been just huge in supporting me this year. They've given me my space and my freedom and everything, and I have to be really thankful for that, because I think a big reason why I had so much anxiety and why I was so sad at the beginning of the year is because I didn't have that. My parents and I really worked out in a way that I'm getting emotional, because like whenever I talk about my parents, I just get emotional because they've given me so much and I have so much love for them. We've compromised in a way that is kind of unspoken. Like, no one ever said, it just kind of happened. My parents saw it. They saw that I was unhappy. They saw that I felt unfulfilled, that I was different, that I was sad, and I voiced my concerns to them that, hey, I want to have more freedom. I want to, you know, I'm 21 this year. I want to be able to go out, and I really spent a lot of time with my friends this year, but at the expense of what? At the expense of spending time with my family. Next year I want there to be a better balance. It wasn't their fault that I wasn't getting the freedom that I wanted. It was that I never spoke up about it. I am going to try my best next year to have a better relationship with Bo. Like, he and I have been together for 2 years now. Actually, tomorrow, January 1st, it's gonna be 26 months, which he just brought to my attention. I was like, 26 months of what? And he was so offended. This year was really hard for us because on one hand he was figuring himself out, and on the other hand I didn't want to figure myself out. So I was really stubborn. In a relationship, it's the small things, and small things add up. So we were just doing these little things to one another that just weren't very healthy. So at the beginning of this year we had a lot of trouble getting things together, and we're still not without problems, but we're at the point now where we have an understanding understanding that we don't want to be without each other. He loves me in ways I didn't even know that I wanted or needed to be loved. It's funny because I got that idea from him. He thinks that I'm doing it for him, but it's only because I learned it from him too. He's taught me, oh, I'm getting emotional again too, because my relationship is kind of a touchy subject for me because it's so important to me. But the first time we ever had that conversation of like, why are we doing this? Do we want to end up together? Things just really turned around because we were just both very scared of like losing one another, that we were self-destructive almost. Like, it's like, if I can't control this, then I don't want it. We're both very sensitive people. So it was delicate, it was sensitive, and it was hard, it was difficult, but at the end of the day, I'm so happy and I'm so thankful that I get to be his girlfriend. It feels like a privilege. Like, from the beginning, everyone was super skeptical about our relationship. We didn't have a lot of support, so it was really just us supporting each other. And some days it still feels like that, but sometimes that's all the support that you need, is just from that one person who like truly understands how to love you and does it unconditionally. We butt heads a lot. We're both very stubborn as we are sensitive. It's not a malicious relationship. It's not an unhealthy relationship. So it's hard even getting there and saying, yeah, I need to change this about myself. Sometimes you just want to say, no, you're wrong, I'm right, this is how things are gonna be. That doesn't work, and we know that now. But we broke a lot in this relationship, and we changed a lot, and we grew together, and we're such a strong like pair, and that makes me so happy. Did I even talk about like what I'm doing with my makeup anymore? What did I do on my lashes? Oh, I used the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise on my eyelashes. I really like the way it gives me both length and volume, and it's a really affordable drugstore mascara. Doesn't run or anything. And then for my highlighter, I fell back in love with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. But yeah, this year was definitely a tough year for us. It wasn't for nothing. You know, at the end of this year, we're both better individuals, and in that way we can be better partners. I'm just thankful to have someone who is loyal to me and who loves me, but won't let me stay stuck. And it's tough being told that you need to change parts about yourself from your partner, because you feel like, oh, you should love me how I am. You know, this is how I am. You should love me regardless. And it's not that we don't love each other. The fact is that we love each other so much that we just want to see the other person do better. And I'm so happy to be in a relationship that challenges me that way. And I think what I was trying to say before I started getting choked up was that Beau is the adult figure in my life that I'm not scared to go to. He is 25, I'm 21, so he's, you know, those are really formative years. Your early 20s, you learn a lot, and I'm so happy I don't have to be learning these things in a way where I feel alone or isolated. I zoomed back out, guys, because I'm pretty much done with my makeup. I got my lashes on, and I'm just gonna put on my lip color. The lip that I'm wearing today is the Bite Beauty. I believe it's their Amuse Bouche liquefied lip in the shade Whip. One of my goals this year, it's kind of stupid, but I really wanted to find a nude lip. Not like a medium tone brown taupey nude rose type shade. I wanted like a straight up nude lipstick. So this is pretty much it for my look for today, but I do have some goals for next year that I want to share with you guys. And I kind of think of goals as different from resolutions, because resolutions I think of more of like broader concepts about things that I would like to improve in 2019 or in the new year, and then goals I think are like actual things that I want to like check off on a list. One of my goals is to maintain a clear space. I want to clean my room more. I want to do it often. I want to do it in a way that's like sustainable, you know. I don't want to have to be doing like a huge purge like I did this year. I want to either move out this year, or I want to have a plan for moving out, and I want people to be aware of it, like my parents, like my family. This kind of ties into the self-care and gym thing, but I do want to have a body that I've worked hard to achieve, and I'm not really sure what that means yet. I don't have like a particular body type that I'm going for. I do know that I want abs next year, so we'll see how that goes. And last, I guess I just want to kind of dress to impress. I'm not there yet, okay, you guys? You can still tell from my outfit today that I have been in college for the past 4 years, that I've been working for the past 4 years, and that I'm just tired most of the time. Woo! So that was a video that's gonna take a fat minute to edit. So that's pretty much it, you guys. That was my 2018 beauty favorites and New Year's resolution video. By the time you guys are seeing this, it will be 2019, so I hope you guys have a great new year. I hope last year you learned a lot and that you're excited to learn a lot more about yourselves this year, and I hope I can keep creating content this year that you guys will like. So that's pretty much all that I have to say. If you have an Instagram, please follow me at ohdangdanii with 2 eyes, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!